Hey, welcome back to Whiskey Quest. My name's Antonio Perez, and tonight we're gonna drink 40 Creek Barrel Select Canadian Whiskey, spelt without the E. Now, I can't do Whiskey Quest if I'm not gonna try as much as I can, right? I think I feel that I've been ignoring our Canadian brothers, and so I went up to the liquor store and I went to their Canadian section, and honestly, I was having a hard time choosing something because the only Canadian whiskey that I've ever tried is Crown Royal. So I wanted to try something that I haven't tried before yet. So I asked the guy to help me out, and he had any recommendations, and he chose this. Um, he told me that it was something a little bit different, and that he enjoys it. So I said, why not? Let's give it a shot. So I picked this up, and this ran me 21.99. So it was very reasonable, and I figured, if I don't like it, like again, like I said, it's 21 bucks. Um, but the guy's not gonna recommend something, and then I'm not gonna like it. It's like you want to get customers to come back and see what else he recommends. So I trust them. Uh, these guys know what they're talking about. So I went with this. It's 80 proof, so 40% ABV. Like I said, it was 21.99, and I am very happy to have picked this up because as soon as I opened it, it's like, I mean, it's very very sweet, very dessert like kind of. So it's something you can enjoy after dinner and just sit back and relax and enjoy the rest of the night. I mean, on the nose, I get a nutty note, like a toasted almond kind of note. I get the caramelized sugar. I get hints of raisins and toffee. That toffee pretty, it's one of the dominant notes in here, along with the nutty notes. On the palate, you get a very creamy, kind of buttery mouthfeel with the sweet burnt sugar. Slight bitter, but it mixes well with the sugar notes, or with the sweet notes. So it's very well rounded. So not one sticks out too much. Like they all kind of blend nice in together. So that's pretty nice. The finish on this is actually pretty long, and you get a lot of the nutty flavors in there with the sweetness. So it's a very very nice aftertaste. I mean, that nose, seriously, that nose is so delicious. When I first opened it and I tried some, the one thing that popped in was like Mexican flan. If you guys never had that, it's a pastry. It's very creamy. It's they actually caramelize the sugar, and then they just drip it all over the pastry, kind of like a maple syrup on pancakes, which just drips over, and that's what it is to me on this glass, like all day long. It's flan in a glass. Really nice. Let me add some water real quick. So I only added two small drops. It's only 40%, so I'm not gonna go crazy on it. Um, the master distiller there, he used to be a winemaker for I don't know how many years, for a very long time, and he says he wanted to bring some of his winemaking skills into making his whiskey. So what he did was distilled the corn, he distilled the rye and the barley all separately, and aged them all in separate barrels. With the corn being the highest one, with the, I think it was the alligator char, if I'm not mistaken, and then it went to more of a medium char for, I think, the barley, or was it the rye? I can't remember. Um, but then a lighter one. So each it just progressed down, um, because the notes that it produces, and he wanted to have something that was well rounded. So once it all was aged, he just grabbed all of them and started mixing them in different proportions till he got what he wanted, which was this right here. And I mean, that's what the Canadians are known for. They're master blenders, so they do a really good job about it. Tony back once again to stop myself from screwing up whiskey history as we know it. Just to clarify again from the different chars, he does use an alligator char for the corn. He does use a medium char for the barley, and he uses a light char for the rye. See you guys in the future. Peace. So this is actually their entry level whiskey, and I mean I'm really enjoying this. So I'm definitely going to pick up their other bottles and see how they go. And I'm sure I'm gonna like them because this is pretty good and it's their entry level. And I think they also do it in a copper pot still, so that's something it takes. It's more of a it's harder to do instead of having the column stills where everything's getting produced, like nonstop. Pot stills, you make your batch and then you gotta clean it, so there's a pause in between while everything's getting reset for the next batches. So this guy really, he really puts in his time to produce stuff. So with the water on the nose, you still get the caramel, you still get the burnt sugar, you get the toasted almond still, it's like walnuts. I get a little bit of honey at the back, very back, some vanilla, but everything's a little bit turned down from before. It's not as right up there in your nose, but it's still delightful kind of nose. On the palate, it goes from a creamy mouthfeel to a silky kind of mouthfeel. You still get the caramel, you get the toffee, you get a little bit of the nuttiness. But there's some spice. All right, spice got a little bit on the second sip there. Maybe because I didn't chew it as much, it just kind of swallowed it. So that was pretty good. But everything else is kind of mild with the water, so I would stick without any water. It's a little bit more enjoyable that way. The finish is actually also shorter, with the same kind of spice in the back. And you still get that mouthfeel. Stays there. So yeah, I mean, $21.99 Canadian whiskey. This is I believe a little bit cheaper than the Crown Royal. So if you haven't tried this and you like dessert-like whiskeys, or you want to try dessert-like whiskey, I'd say go ahead and pick this up. You can't really go wrong with this one. It's very delicious. I mean, I'm telling you, I'm really enjoying this. I'm like this much into the bottle, and I just opened it a couple of weeks ago. I mean, I got other stuff to drink too, but this is something I've been picking up after I have a dinner and just want to just sit back and relax, like I said. Now the spring is here, sit out in your deck or something, in your backyard, wherever, in your porch, and have a dram. Now, one thing about this bottle, it's a no age statement, but in order to be a Canadian whiskey, I believe it's a minimum of 3 years. If I find out the actual years, I'll put it in the comments below, or if anybody knows what the age statement, go ahead and put it in the comments below. So again, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Let me know what you think about it. Don't forget to subscribe, share the video, and until next time, cheers. Bye.